こんにちは、世界予報官のところです。本日ですね、グローバル E のランさんにですね、グローバル e コマースのトレンドであったりとか、ケーススタディについてお話をいただきたいと思います。So, ランさん、thank you for your time today. So last time you talked about what the global E is, and today I'd like you to talk about the global e-commerce trend and case study. So could you introduce yourself first?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, thank you for inviting me to Kodastan to your YouTube channel. My name is Ran Almog. I'm the CEO of Globally Japan and Korea. As you mentioned, I will introduce today market trends as well as a couple of customer success stories.
Mm-hmm. So how do you get those kind of the market trend stats?
So good question. Mm-hmm. At Globally, we have basically thousands of customers, and those customers, they have millions of visitors that come to the website. Mm-hmm. Those buyers, they're actually coming from different locations in the world. They have different patterns of behavior. Some of them buy, some of them decide not to buy eventually. But at the end of their journey on those websites, we have access to all those data, we have those patterns, and we have access to the data that enable us to then take this data and improve our customers' performance. Now, looking once a quarter at the data, we're able to see which markets are actually trending better than others, and then we can see which markets are better for our customers to invest when it comes to digital marketing and working together with you and your company.
I see. That's pretty interesting. So, following that stats, could you tell me the global e-commerce trend?
Yeah, definitely. So let's start. It's important to understand that, first of all, when we look at the data, this data is collected from customers that are using Globally, of course, and that they are trending from anywhere in the world, or from basically 30 different countries to anywhere in the world, to more than 200 countries. This is the first qualification. And when we gather this information quarter over quarter, that, for example, North America, and looking at the 2024 data, North America is constantly increasing their consumption, which means that Americans, they keep growing, they keep buying more from international markets.
I see.
Europe, in this example, in Q2 2024 or Q3 2024, you can see the growth of consumption as well year over year. So Europe is recovering. This is really good news because if you remember from 2023, when we look at the data, we saw that Europe was still kind of struggling when it comes to consumption, maybe because of the war in Europe, Ukraine and Russia. What we see, which is a little bit concerning, is actually the declining of Asia-Pacific markets. I think mainly Japan, Australia are declining in consumption. We will talk about the reasons a little bit later, but this is definitely significant for APAC as a region. And then the Middle East is kind of the rising star for the past couple of years. We see that Middle East specifically is growing year over year and quarter over quarter, which means the Middle East is becoming a very strong and powerful buying market in the world.
I see. So except APEC, the APEC market is growing.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to our customers. They are selling more into those markets. They are probably selling less into the APAC market in this year.
I see. So could you tell me the reason why the APEC is declining?
Yes, sure. So if we jump into slide, these are the markets that are declining. These are the markets that their buyers buy less year over year and quarter over quarter. Side, you see the growing markets, the ones that are actually buying more year over year and quarter over quarter. So Hong Kong, Korea, Japan, Singapore, New Zealand, those markets, the reason that they are actually declining is mainly because their currency comparing to the US dollar, their currency comparing to euro is getting weaker and weaker in the past few years. And this is why, mainly why, because the reason for their consumers to consume less from international markets.
So the APEC the countries are less strong. It's hard to purchase the products from the other market.
Exactly. If you think about Tokuda-san, when you look at the Japanese yen, you look at the past, not even few months, it's like almost the past few years, we see that the Japanese yen is really becoming weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
And that causes actually two things when we look at the market trends. From one angle, Japanese consumers, they buy less. Because their currency worth less and is weaker than before. On the other angle, which is more interesting, we see here in Japan more and more merchants, more and more companies that are coming to us and they are saying, I want to open my website, my e-commerce into more countries because I get more demand.
I see.
For them, for Americans, for Europeans, because of the currency difference and changes, the Japanese merchandise become cheaper for them and they want to buy more.
I see. So from the global e-commerce marketer, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, for us representing Japanese brands, definitely it's a good thing. We want to see those Japanese brands selling more and introducing more of their products into international markets. And as we can see here, specifically with the markets that are growing so fast, you know, when we work together with our partnership and sometimes which markets are good to invest in digital marketing, we always go back to those markets that are growing. For example, you can see Poland is growing in a vast growth pace. You can see that the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, all those markets are growing very fast because of their strength when it comes to currency. Rich countries are actually buying more internationally. But the good thing is also that we see now Europe that is recovering and growing, and you can see more and more European consumers buying internationally.
I see. And these days, more and more inbound people coming to Japan. Yeah.
That's a very, very good point. When we speak to merchants in Japan, one of the reasons that if they didn't sell internationally before, one of the reasons that they want to start selling internationally is because they tell us that their stores in Japan are getting more and more popular by international visitors, by tourists. And those tourists, most of the time they ask them, so if I go back tomorrow to my hometown, how can I still buy your products? I love your products, how can I buy them? And then those merchants understand that they need to start selling more internationally.
Yeah. So once the people experience Japanese products physically by visiting Japan, and then after they back to their own country, they can actually start purchasing the products through the global e-commerce.
Exactly, and this is what we're trying to help them with, to make it more accessible, to be able to sell in a fast manner to international, to make it more localized and so on.
I see. You have any significant trend for the global e-commerce?
I think a part of the differences between the markets that are either declining or growing, the other things that we see when it comes to trends is, for example, the actual merchandise that is being sold. So, for example, we see a lot of Japanese fashion companies that their products are becoming more and more popular in the world. We see a bigger demand to fashion from Japan. We see also a growing passion and growing interest in manga, in toys, Japanese toys, starting even cosmetics. So the demands to all those products and all those very high quality products, they become more and more popular around the world. And we see more buyers coming specifically from the UAE, as I mentioned before, but not only, also from US and Europe, as well as Asia countries like Taiwan, obviously Australia. Those are the trends that we see recently.
So around the Japanese market, so getting more popular.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's pretty good. So you have any the case which start using the globally?
Yeah. So in Japan, I opened the office, as you know, about 3.5 years ago. We started with the focus on different industries, but Globally's bread and butter is the fashion and apparel. Immediately, we started to introduce our solutions to fashion here in Japan. We have a few good customers that are using us and they're selling their products internationally, and they become more and more popular. Extremely happy and to see that they are growing, and not only growing though, growing their exposure into more markets around the world. Specifically, I can talk about one very interesting customer that we have that is selling Techo diaries to the rest of the world from Japan. They are seeing they came to us after they made quite a lot of research on which cross-border platform they want to partner with when it comes to selling and introducing their products. They measured a few parameters. One of the parameters that was very important to them, a part of stability and a part of the overall service, it was the experience of working with international markets. Since our company was established in 2013 and we work with the biggest customers, Adidas and the Marc Jacobs and Hugo Boss and all the others, they chose us eventually. Many thanks to that experience and integration with us. And after launching their e-commerce site with our platform, they are reporting about uplift of 30 to 40% in terms of sales.
That's great.
When we looked at their social media, we saw so many posts from their buyers about the buying experience. They have a group of fans that they posted questions to the other buyers. For example, what was your favorite payment method that you chose to use, thanks to Globally that is offering all those payment methods. And you saw tons of comments of happy customers, happy buyers. And for us as a company, as a vendor, it was amazing to see it. First of all, because it made this customer of us very, very happy seeing this uplift, but not only the money, it's also about the actual feedback that they got from their buyers.
I see. Thanks to Globally, any country people can use the payment method, which they usually use one, and also that you can use the Klarna, which actually pay the separately?
Yeah, absolutely. So Klarna is one example of buy now, pay later. We offer about 150 different payment methods today to our merchants, and it enables the buyers. When we run the researches and statistics, we see that in European countries, for example, in Germany, about 80% of the buyers, they prefer to use the alternative payment method. So if today you are a brand and you use only the credit card companies, you're losing some of your customers, some of your buyers, because they would prefer to pay with PayPal, with Amazon Pay, with Google Pay, with Apple Pay, with all the alternatives that are becoming stronger and stronger year over year. And this is what we offer our merchants, and they immediately see this increase in conversion rate and sales.
So merchants should add the payment method for each country by taking it globally.
So absolutely, actually we do it for them. Okay, so we sit with every merchant, we say for those markets we offer those payment methods. They don't need to do anything. Once they integrate with us, we will manage it completely for them.
So you have any the Japanese case and the global e-commerce case?
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to Japanese use cases, as I mentioned before, we have those events that we have like once a quarter. We invite our customers in Japan to actually present their use case. So, for example, we had the Hobonichi presenting their use case to the crowd, talking about the uplift that they saw with us. Why did they choose us as a company? At the same time, we had a few fashion companies like Hinoya and Nubian. From the manga/VTuber area, we had our customer who presented their use case of how did they start working with us, which countries they're actually selling into. It's kind of an amazing story because you see the group of fans that they have all over the world that they actually buy directly from HoloLive website. An amazing use case as well. So these are the Japanese brands.
I see. So how about the global use case?
Yeah, so global use cases, we have quite a few, as you can imagine, from different industries, many use cases from the fashion apparel. I can specifically talk about one which is also public on our website. It's Marc Jacobs.
Marc Jacobs.
Marc Jacobs themselves are actually using our product, our solutions. Marc Jacobs, a famous luxury fashion brand, they started their online or cross-border online journey by themselves. They were focused on quite a few countries, but they localized the experience or the currency only to some of them. For example, they supported initially Australian dollar, British pound, euro, Hong Kong dollar, and Korean won. So only those five. But when you think about it, Uda-san, when you think about the buyers that are coming from all over the world, each one of them, they want to buy in their own currency. Okay, so if you come from Taiwan, you want to buy with Taiwanese dollar and not in US dollar and so on. So Marc Jacobs themselves, they came to us, they say, we tried to do it cross-border, we tried to do it international, not so successful, or we expected more. Now, can you help us? One of the reasons that they chose us is very similar to other brands, is because the experience that we have with cross-border. Okay, the use cases, the benchmarks, and so on, the data that we have. We immediately helped them. We integrated our platforms, and then they saw an immediate uplift in many countries, specifically in the ones that they were already operating. And together with us, they also were able to open a few new markets that they didn't trade before.
Oh, I see. So make the user purchase the products owned by own country currency.
Yes.
It's pretty important for the global e-commerce.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So make it after you applied, you could make it more. You could make the more living.
Yes, definitely. So again, you can see it on our website, specifically on Marc Jacobs. For example, to the UK, the number of orders has been increased by 680%. Conversion rate to the UK, conversion rates was uplifted by 535%. So the numbers are like really, really massive from the moment that they actually...
680%.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing.
and this is mainly thanks to the currency conversion, the local currency, the taxes and duties calculation, the payment methods that we talked about before. The more you localize the experience for them, the easier it is to buy, and you see the results immediately.
I see. So those kind of stats prove how the currency adjusting, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you have the conference each quarter, right?
Absolutely, yes. So We host a seminar once every quarter. Actually, the next one is February 26th. As you know, partner always coming and inviting your customers, your prospects as well. In those seminars, we usually host about a couple of customers that they present their use case on the stage. For this February, we haven't locked yet the presenters, but I can share that in the Nitska Tiger and the Cover, HoloLive, and we also brought some customers from Korea in the past, Gentle Monster and Line Friends. All those customers are happy to present. Sometimes from fashion industries like Nubian and Hinoya. So it's a mix of good customers that go on stage, they speak about themselves, presenting their use case, why do they choose globally, what the performance that they see. So it's really interesting. And as you know, we usually conclude those events with some connection party. We have dinner and drinks.
Delicious dinner too. So,
exactly.
So I'm gonna put the link to the on the YouTube about the conference. カンファレンスすごい役に立ちますので、ぜひチェックしてみていただけたらなと思います。So thank you very much for your explanation today. It was pretty interesting.
Thank you so much, Tokuda-san. It was really fun. I hope it has been helpful as well.
はい、ご視聴いただきありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。